Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Inview. Yes, it's good to be back with you on Earth itself. My name's Clint Denyer. This is the Inview. As you can see, I'm going through a calibration at the moment. I have been with Nigel. We have got other lights in the studio here tonight, as you can see. There we are. And but I just thought it looked quite nice because going with Nigel on his spaceship means that I have to be calibrated to do it. And that's hence why I've got lots of pretty lights all around me tonight. But hope you're well out there. The Inview is back. We weren't here last week. We've gone through a considerable amount of change over the course of the last few weeks, really. And I'd like to, first of all, say it's fantastic to have the support and help of my technical advisor in relation to where we sit and what we're doing. We're actually going out live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So I'm really, really grateful. And Gemma Jane Brooks has joined us. Hello, Gemma. And she says, Merry Christmas. Yes, well, I suppose I look a little bit like a Christmas tree. But as long as you can see me, I can put this light on if you want. But I think the lights look really nice, actually. But we'll leave that on for a bit, maybe. The Inview is a special show. It was created for a viewpoint for people to come on and talk about exactly whatever they want to do. And we have every week a plethora of guests, lots of different guests from all walks of life, a lot of spiritual people, obviously, because I'm a very spiritual person myself, to enhance and grow and give out knowledge and wisdom and understanding to everyone that's listening. And what's important is also to give a different viewpoint in the world and what's going on right now. And you know, this show is about fun as well. I know we are bogged down in the density of Earth, in COVID, and God knows what else is going on. And I'm going to try not to talk about COVID, but I'm obviously going to a bit because I always do. But, you know, first of all, it is about giving a different opinion. There's nothing like this on the internet anywhere. Yes, you have shock jocks and all sorts of people, Alex Jones, people like that, which are really good at what they do. And I have a lot of respect. But this is light-hearted, but also looking at it in a different way. So we're getting hold of the news, if you like, and we're turning it around, turning it on its head and dissecting it and putting it in all sorts of different places. On the show tonight, we have got an amazing lineup of guests, as always. We have got the amazing Teresa Searle from Inuit Soul. She will bring us astrological guidance, not for August, as I put out there, but for October. And it's very interesting because October, I do believe, if I remember rightly, is going to be a very interesting month and beyond. She's also not only an intuitive astrologer, she's a tarot reader, medium, Reiki practitioner, and natural mindfulness guide. She's on at 7:20 tonight. 7:50 tonight, the return of the amazing Andrew Hobbs. He was stuck in Ireland in lockdown for a very long time, but he's back and I'm really pleased he is. He's a lovely guest. Andrew Hobbs is on at 7:50 tonight. He's a divine poet, spiritual advisor, angel medium, and a guest that'll blow your mind, basically. And then we have the amazing multi-dimensional adventures of Captain Hadit later, and we'll see if he has had it at long last. But we will come to that a little bit later. So lots of people. Ryan Fillmore. Hello, Ryan. Are they looking better like this? Look. And I've been resembling a Christmas tree, apparently. But my lights I've got all around me tonight is because Nigel, sorry, I didn't mean to shake you like that, Nigel. Pepe's actually on his planet right now, which is Venus, of course. And Nigel here, who, yeah, I know you miss him. Yeah, I know, it's all right. To go on his spaceship, which I have been, I have to be supercharged with loads of rainbow lights. So that's why, hence, I have to put all this on tonight because I'll probably be going back there. What do you mean? No, I'm not going back there. Thank you very much, Nigel. That's very kind of you. Jason McCusro's joined us. Hello, Jace. How are you? I hope you're well. I am not bringing Christmas early. It's just a supercharged nanotechnology type thing to be able to be supercharged to get on the Equilibrium ship. That's what it's called, the Equilibrium ship. That's Nigel's ship here, where he travels to and fro, and he's promised me a ride in it. So that'd be quite interesting, to Venus or somewhere. So that'd be very, very interesting. I think we'll put the lights back on for a bit. You can still see the lights. That's fine. Dina, hello. Blimey, Clint, you look like a Christmas tree. Well, yes, I do tonight. I know it's a bit shocking for everyone, but you know, I have to be supercharged to actually get on board Nigel's ship. And Nigel is here, of course, and he doesn't talk. He speaks through mind. And to go to Venus or whatever, and to go through the various quantum bouts and all sorts. Obviously, I have to be supercharged with rainbow energy to cross the rainbow bridges. And as you can see, yes, I do look a little bit like a Christmas tree, but I think it's quite a nice look, actually, to be honest. But I'm not getting electrocuted. It's not plugged into any system here. It's plugged into Nigel's quantum pack. So, yeah, it's great to have you on board, Dina, and hope you're well. And it's great to have you here. As I said already, guest tonight, we have got the amazing Teresa Searle, bringing her take on the astrology for October, which I feel you're going to find absolutely fascinating. I know I will as well. And then what do you got after that? We have got the amazing Andrew, who will be coming on, Andrew Hobbs, who will be coming on, and he's a poet. He's a very, very nice, all-round, really nice guy, and he's coming on 8:50 tonight. And we've got Teresa on at 7:20, and then we've got Captain Hadit, who is somewhere out there in a multi-dimensional island, somewhere between here and another reality altogether different. So we always start the show off with news of the week and all sorts. And well, where do we start with the bilge that we are walking in at the moment? I'm going to start with a few light-hearted things to begin with. One is obviously, I don't think it's rained, does it, very much? You know, has anyone out there thought about actually building an ark, actually getting some timber from Jewson's and starting to build an ark? Because we have rain, non-stop, and wind, and God knows what else. You know, I know that we actually had more rain yesterday. We had so much rain. We had a month's worth of rain in one day. Absolutely bonkers. And apparently it's raining today again, which I've seen. Obviously, I've been out there. And obviously it's going to rain for the next few days. We bring something light, something different, and something airy here. This is a great story. I want to move away from the rain. It's very depressing and everything. This is a curry house in a phone box. A new takeaway owner has combined two great British traditions with the world's smallest curry house in a red phone box. Can you believe it? It opened this week in a disused kiosk, serving fresh brownies and spicy side dishes. Tahib Shafak, I've got to pronounce that right. He's 25, apparently. They always put an age in there. I have no idea why. Gets the grub delivered twice a day from a local catering company and uses food warmers powered by electricity in the phone booth. He said he wanted to honour the iconic British phone box and his new food venture. He said he uses hang on a minute. He uses another one next to it for storage. Is renting the boxes on Uxbridge High Street, northwest London, from the Red Kiosk Company, which buys disused phone booths from BT for other uses. And I think it's remarkable. Look at him, seeming to do very well in his phone box there, serving his curry dishes. That's fantastic. This story, well, you know, I'm going to come to that in a minute because I don't want to get too bogged down in COVID. But obviously, you know, whatever you think of Mr. Donald Trump, my own personal opinion, I think Donald Trump's a bit of a savior to humanity to a degree. A lot of people won't agree with me, but he has obviously COVID virus, or has he? Has he or hasn't he? I have no idea at all. And I feel that there's all sorts of things going on that there isn't a truth in. But Donald Trump, he was ridiculed last night after the coronavirus. You know, so many people have come out and said the worst possible things to this man. And I think it's absolutely terrible when he saved so many children, which he has. So we're going to put that down there in the bin. We have got another story here. ET found on Venus in 1978. NASA discovered evidence of life on Venus in 1978. Biochemist Rashish Mongol said a probe picked up signs during the Pioneer 13 mission to the planet, the surface of which is roasting at 463 degrees Celsius. So they say. How do they know? They haven't been on it. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, to be honest, the story is not worth the paper it's written on, to be honest, because as we know already, there is civilized life of all descriptions, whether it's a particle or whether it's a being or whatever standing on a planet or in it. All our planets in our solar system sustain life inside and out. And you know, it's garbage. I'm sorry. Another story here. I am going to get to something in a minute that's going to be a bit horrible to talk about, COVID. This is rocker gets wand out twice a week. Well, Ozzy Osbourne, who recently was diagnosed with Parkinson, apparently he's a sex god and still makes love a couple of times a week, says happy wife Sharon. She has opened up and how wild Ozzy was, way over sex during his 20s thanks to groupies. And apparently she's really enjoying it with him twice a week. Oh, I missed the story there. Oh, can I find that story? I wanted to read this because it's hilarious. It is about Donald Trump. That's not it. That's not it. You can see this is live, can't you? That's not either. Where is it? Here it is. This is it. I wanted to read this because I think this is fascinating. And this is the world we live in that's so bonkers, crazy, and off the radar. This is Donald Trump has said McDonald's French fries are the reason he has gone bald. He tweeted in response to a Japanese study which found a chemical in the chips could be a cure for baldness. The US president said, no wonder I didn't lose my hair. He was replying to a comment by George W. Bush, bald press secretary. Do they really have a bald press secretary? You know what I mean? Scientists in 2018 study said the chemical is added to McDonald's French fries to stop the cooking oil from frothing. They said when the chemical was tested on mice, they regrew hair. And that's why you see mice with beards, don't you? Trump is an avid fan of fast food, especially McDonald's. And biographer Michael Wolff, no age, claimed it was because of a lifetime fear of being poisoned. Well, you've eaten enough of that rubbish, so I'm not surprised. It is poison. The problem is with what Donald Trump's going through is that he's trying out experimental drugs. Does he really know what he's taking? Do you know what I mean? And the people around him. And I know that he's vilified for the almost punch up that went on in the week in relation to him and Joe Biden. When you put them together, I mean, Joe Biden is a walking skeleton. He's not even, and allegedly lots of other things as well that I can't even mention. As we know, 1 in 3 Brits will be put in lockdown, but the infection rate falls from 1.7 to 1.1. And I do know now, and it is so confusing that really, realistically, you can't even get your head around it, to be honest, what actually is going on in various districts. Some districts are this, some are that. I know you can't have more than 6 people in a public place, in a pub or restaurant or whatever, but you know and the curfew on pubs. We are heading for a martial law scenario here. Shutting pubs at 10, what difference that make? 1 hour, it normally shuts at 11, and obviously there's no nightclubs or anything open as well. I think we really have to look at what civil liberties are being given away here. And they're saying it's because of the death rate and because of COVID and everything else. And do you know what? The trouble is there's too many police believe in it. That's the problem. Ryan says McDonald's burgers do not decompose, so it makes you wonder them. Yeah, I know. I watched Super Size Me once, which was about a guy that just ate nothing but McDonald's and kept McDonald's in jars as well that actually didn't decompose. And it's very true. Burgers don't, neither do the chips. So I don't know what he's talking about there. I suppose if they don't regurgitate and come out one end or the other, I suppose the chips could go into thin strands and actually take over parts of your head where your hair should be. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, really. What have we got here? Major operations underway to move a pod of whales which had trapped British submarine fleet in port. Marine wildlife experts, Navy police, and the harbour master are hoping to shepherd the northern bottleneck whales out to the open sea. They want to usher the group out. So listen to this. So our £12.5 billion fleet of Vanguard nuke-armed subs can set sail. Apart from using the noisy engines, the 50 or so rescuers in more than a dozen boats are banging metal poles as well as splashing around by the shore to stop the whales beaching. And they face a race against time as the 40-foot mammals have become weaker and need to be cleared. We have to ask us, and it says here more than 16 warships and 58 aircraft from 14 nations will be involved in a show of strength at the Exercise Joint Warrior NATO war game. For God's sake. We have to listen to nature. You know, when we have things distress themselves and beach themselves, they're trying to tell us something. We had it recently with a load of, I think, whales on a beach on the coast of this country somewhere as well. Gemma says, get everyone on benefits. When they lose their livelihoods, then threaten to not give them their benefit money if they don't accept the vaccine things. Well, I'll tell you what, they're not sticking no needles in me. I can tell you that for a start, because it just ain't happening, I can tell you. And, you know, the problem is that you're absolutely right there in lots of ways. Look at the toll. We know the toll through the massive amount of mental torture that people are going through in just living in today's world under incredibly draconian circumstances, not being able to go out, not being able to go to cinema, not being able to go bowling, not being able to go do anything but go to a shop. And when you go to the shop, you've got a queue and you have to wear a mask and you have to wear everything else that you've got to wear in that as well. And you can't cough because, as Boris says, if you cough, it could be someone's death knell. There's only one person to blame for this whole bloody debacle. And you know who that is? Dominic bloody Cummings. That's who. And he's the guy behind this as well. Brexit. Who runs this country? Dominic Cummings. A man that has got his finger in so many pies. He's earned an absolute fortune out of all this. Out of all of us, basically. Boris Johnson has won support for his vote. I mean, I thought this was all done and dusted, but of course it isn't, is it? Brexit is not done and dusted. Brexit is a mess. COVID is a mess. This government is a mess. Do you know, somebody told me, my technical advisor actually it was for my show now, and they told me something that is very true, and I feel it is. I feel what we're going to have in this country is that people will get so sick to death. There will be anarchy to a degree. But I feel the government will be made to stand down. And when the government is made to stand down, I feel there'd be a representation of various parties joining together as one to have an emergency government in place to tackle the issues and the problems, the lies, the deceit, and everything else that's going on. I mean, they're so smug, these Tory MPs. They don't think anything can touch them. Because Commons. It's Commons. No, it's Dominic Cummings. Dominic Cummings has so much on all of them, including Boris Johnson. They can't touch him. He needs horse whipping. He needs dragging out of number 10, and he needs nailing to a bloody wall or something so you can't get him back in number 10 and get him as far away from the government as possible and get rid of all them at the same time. Absolute ridiculous. What else we got here? And don't forget, 7:20 tonight, we have got Teresa Searle. I'm really looking forward to meeting Teresa Searle because we are heading for an interesting month in October. Gemma Jane says Cummins has got more fingers in pies than Mr. Kipling. Yes, he has. He has. And he's earning an absolute millions and millions and millions. And of course, he can flout the rules and go off wherever he wants and everything as well. Do you know what I mean? What else we got here? A brave teenager has climbed a mountain just 7 weeks after open heart surgery. Harvey Ackley, 15, scaled 3,560-foot Mount Snowdon in Wales 48 days after the 8-hour operation. His rushed to hospital last year with a burst appendix, but tests revealed that he had got 2 holes in his heart that had gone undetected. He underwent major surgery on August 5th, which involved cutting into his chest to fix the holes, leaving him with a 7-inch scar. And he completed the hike along with his mum Gemma and dad Gary and their golden retrievers Max and Enzo. On the way down, I thought, I've just done that so soon after heart surgery. I felt it has been a big achievement after spending a week in hospital to climb a mountain 6 weeks later. Well done. That's a good story, a good news story. We need more good news stories. Do you know what I mean? Unlike this, which, don't even get me started on the royal family. Celebrities with cocaine are thought to be among 16 people caught smuggling illegal items into Buckingham Palace. The seizure is believed to be mainly for drugs, showing up in X-ray scans of guests, topped a list of 33 recorded crimes inside palace grounds in a year. And obviously you can see that is all about white powder, obviously cocaine, all manner of different things. They're scum, all of them. Sorry, absolute scum. New license fee shocker. The BBC has been paying Radio 4 host James McNulty $175,000 a year for just 23 hours of broadcast time. His salary was released last week alongside the BBC's other top earners. It covers April 2019 2020, but unlike many presenters, there are no breakdown of how much work he did. Now, this survey says on a Sunday audit can reveal the 69-year-old was on air for just over 23 hours in that time, equaling to £7,608 an hour of broadcasting, or £126 a minute. It's sick. It's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And you know what? What do we pay a license fee for anyway? Do you know what I mean? Who watches the BBC anyway? The news is rubbish and biased, and obviously, the programs are not great, are they? To be honest. Gemma says it wasn't me who went up the mountain. No, it wasn't you, Gemma. We have got at any point coming up Teresa Searle. In actual fact, we might give Teresa Searle a ring if she hasn't come forward. You can tell this is live, can't you? Let's see if we can catch her on here. Let's see if we can get her on here. Just talk amongst yourselves a minute. Just there we are. And as if by magic, my phone does some sort of ringing device thing, and on the other end is Teresa Searle, who is our resident monthly astrologer. Hello, Teresa. How are you?
Hi, Clint. I'm not too bad.
I'm apparently a Christmas tree tonight.
You're a Christmas tree?
Apparently, yeah. I've got lots of coloured lights all around me tonight.
Oh, are you dressed as one? Or
no, I'm not really. No, I'm just plugged in, really.
Okay, trying to get into festive spirit.
Yeah, well, you need something to cheer up these dark, wet, miserable, gloomy days that we're in at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. I'm not normally too worried about the change in season, but definitely felt it this weekend. Yeah,
absolutely mental, isn't it? There's only a couple of weeks ago we were out there in t-shirts and shorts, and it's coming with a vengeance. But it's the Noah's Ark rain, isn't it? It's non-stop. It's just relentless.
Yeah, it certainly is.
And obviously, how have you been? You've been okay and everything?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, plodding along. I've had, a good month. All good.
Good. I do remember some while back you said that October is going to be a very interesting month due to a culmination of factors.
Yeah, and it certainly is playing out that way, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, within the stars, how does it foretell what we're going through at the moment in relation to this?
I mean, I've always had this thing about October, that October was in the
I know, you mentioned that a long time ago.
And it's because there's a lot of energy, Mars is in retrograde, Mercury's turning retrograde, and the 13th in Scorpio, which is quite a difficult sign to go retrograde in, and we're going into Scorpio season anyway. There's a lot of oppositions and things and clashes of planets this month, and it's that restrictive, kind of energy going on. So, you can predict that this month is going to be upheaval. There's going to be power conflicts, ego conflicts, definitely kind of like going on. But you wouldn't necessarily have known that, all the coronavirus is going to be about. But, you could tell something was going to happen. And Mars is very, it's connected to our immune system. Yeah. So, with it in retrograde, we really need to look after ourselves right now, and our immune system. Very important.
Well, it's a double whammy, isn't it? It's not just COVID-19 and whatever you want to say. I mean, in my own opinion, the absolute fear porn propaganda that comes out, and the rules and regulations that basically you need to have A levels to understand them all. Basically, do you know what I mean? Or be a robot and have it programmed inside your head. Do you know what I mean? But there's also that word called Brexit.
Oh well, yeah.
Nothing is stable at all in this world we live in, and certainly in this country.
No, and it's not going to be for a while, actually. Next year, there's going to be a lot of that Brexit playing out, but it's not going to be England, it's going to be everywhere. I don't think the EU is going to be the EU anymore. I think lots of changes are going to come in. So it's going to be an interesting kind of year next year, where we kind of feel like we'll be going around in circles a little bit, to be honest.
What is this?
It's going to keep showing up and trying to change things, and because it's in a fixed sign, and Saturn will be in a fixed sign, we'll be stuck in our ways and not wanting the changes that will be coming. We're going to find it quite difficult to kind of shift into a new state of being. It's going to be an interesting year next year.
It's also the immense amount of mental damage going on with people at the moment as well, isn't it? And I suppose, resembling what you're talking about there, we do see a growing number of aggressive people in reality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's all kind of coming out, or people are showing their kind of true colours. It's people are getting angry now, aren't they? And
well, they are. And where does that go? Because the problem is, I mean, with Saturn is war, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, they keep saying we're at war with COVID. We can't be at war with a virus we can't see. But I mean, it's a terminology, I know, but it is very much about, I feel in what we went through in lockdown was a massive universal look at ourselves, really, to re-gauge, realign and reconnect, and then come out and have to face whatever comes at us, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. It's all about cleansing,
Yeah.
Cleansing what we, no longer need in our lives, and shifting it out. It's so important to do that this year. If people haven't realised that, then they'll get a wake-up call, I think. So,
I don't think people can have a choice, are they?
No.
Because
so
what we... Sorry, what we've got here in the severity of what's going on across the country, and different, Scotland, Wales and Ireland all got doing different things. Certain areas shut down, certain areas aren't. I mean, and they can't afford to shut it all down again because they just go bankrupt. We're looking at millions of people going on the dole, basically, and we're looking at a country that it's almost being decimated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very fractured, isn't it? It just feels like we're not in unity anymore.
And they're shutting down social interaction, which means like, fairs and things like that, where we all used to go to. Those were the days. That it's deliberately to stop people meeting people. Do you know what I mean? And the problem is that I feel that these people that are in power their head's so far up their backside that they don't even see what's going on around them.
Well, no, because a lot of them are just carrying on like normal, aren't they?
It's just, I am absolutely lost for words.
They've got a pub that opens past 10 o'clock.
They've got a pub. Yeah, they've got 17 of them in the House of Parliament. They're open to probably 2 in the morning. They haven't got a 10 p.m. curfew, have they?
It's bonkers, isn't it? It's worse in some ways because everyone's getting kicked out at 10. Whereas before people would leave like starting from 10. Now everybody's getting kicked out, and then people are moaning that people on the streets. But it's like everyone's kicked out at 10. So for me, that's like worse, you know.
I cannot see. I know it. I know it's one of that complete and utter plebhead, Dominic Cummings. I know it's one of his. Oh, let's kick them all out of a pub at 10, and we'll say it'd be better. I mean, it's 1 hour. What difference does it make? Do you know what I mean? If they're in there anyway, do you know what I mean? Does not make any sense. None of it makes any sense. And this is the problem, because I feel projected from what you're saying in relation to what's going on, the alignments and everything around us. It is actually pulling out a truth within people and seeing this, thinking, what the bloody hell's going on?
Yeah, and obviously Pluto turns direct today. Now, Pluto's been in retrograde for like 4 or 5 months. So it's kind of like we've all just been complying and moving along. But now Pluto's going forward, people are going to start waking up a bit and kind of like standing up a bit more. There's been a few more protests, hasn't there, around? And there's a really big one in Berlin, I think, on the 10th. But yeah, it just feels like, people are going to start kind of questioning everything now.
Well, I think they are, because even in the scientific field, you got like 50% of doctors agree, 50% don't. So, you know, who's telling the truth? And that, you know, Burke and Hare, Whitty and bloody Valance, or whatever he's called. I mean, you know, these are two of the highest paid people from the pharmaceutical companies. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know.
It's disgrace.
I know. And it just feels like we're an experiment right now.
Oh, we are. Well, I feel we are. I feel we are an experiment. And, you know, I know we just had Donald Trump, who's just supposedly got COVID or not, or whatever.
Well, that's a twist in the story, isn't it?
It is.
Especially so close to election as well.
Yeah.
Very interesting times.
But I mean, it's no contest, is it really, when you look at him and Biden? I mean, Biden's a bag of bones.
Well, I don't even know why he's there, to be honest. It's a show, isn't it? It's a show.
Of course, it's complete shambles. It's a whitewash. It's like Black Lives Matters, a whitewash to hide what's going on.
Yeah, you've always got to look outside what else is going on. I think, you know, while everyone's thinking about Trump getting coronavirus, you've got to look at what's really going on. You know, what's he really up to? He's up to something.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
and the election date is a really interesting date that they've chosen because Mercury turns direct.
All right.
So it's going to be a day full of miscommunication. People are going to do that, accusing it of being rigged and all of that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a very interesting day. So it's one to look out for November the 3rd.
Wow, it's very near Guy Fawkes night, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is going forward in the sign of Libra. It goes backwards. It goes back into Libra. So it's interesting to see about, you know, balance and harmony. So it will be very interesting what plays out on that day. But very likely people of misunderstanding and interesting day. It
is, and I mean, looking ahead here, and probably the world as well, but looking ahead here, we have got now all these restrictions till March next year. Is that poignant in relation to what's going on in the stars and the collapse?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I think there's going to be a shift before that because we've got quite a few planets moving into Aquarius at the end of the year. So, I mean, I'm thinking, 6 months. It won't be that long. But it's hard to tell. I think the next year is very much 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Change will be coming in a positive direction, but it's whether people are going to jump in and
and we don't want to see riots and anarchy and all sorts, but I do feel that we got that to a degree anyway, all around the world going on at the moment for one reason or another.
Yeah, and it's going to rise up.
It is, and the military will come out and all the rest of it. And I feel, as I said before, and it's not my idea. It's not a concept that came from me. It came from my technical person that helps me with my show and all sorts. Said that I feel that that this government will go, and there'd be a cross-party government put in place as an emergency measure.
It would surprise me. Things can be very, very different next year because Uranus is really changing things up, and obviously lots of Aquarius energy. It's lots of new, innovative ways of doing things. I mean, none of us like it, but we are. I don't think this track and trace thing. It's almost like they'll be wanting it more. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they will, and we're eventually what they want is chips, won't they? Implanted in us and all sorts. And you won't be able to go abroad without a COVID-free passport.
Yeah, scary thinking that, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I mean, it's all about control, isn't it? And I mean, I said before, we've been in battle on here, this planet, light and dark, for centuries. And this, I actually feel, and it sounds a bit mad, but I feel that light has won a battle here. And darkness is kicking and screaming and throwing its toys out of a pram. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, exactly. It's rising, isn't it? This is the thing, because the light's rising, so the darkness is trying to keep up with it. And December's going to be a very interesting month with that. Part of me just thinks that that they know something else is kind of coming. That's a natural event that they can't stop. So they're trying all of these different measures to see what actually helps. And kind of does keep it apart because they know they can't change what's coming, and that is the Earth's frequency is rising,
and nature, of course.
Be able to cope with it.
Yeah, and nature, which is the massive aspect of every one of us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in relation to where we are going forward, do you see within the planetary alignment, or what's going on within patterns or behaviours of the planets and everything else at the moment, in relation to a second lockdown? Because that's on everyone's lips, isn't it?
I mean, I was thinking that if it was going to happen, it would be kind of mid to end of October. It might only be a short one, but it could be something. It might be food shortage or water shortage, something like that. Something like that is likely. It could.
Well, if we have that and Brexit and no deal, then yeah, I think you're right.
It's going to happen, but yeah, I've always thought, if it's going to happen, it would be kind of at mid to end October.
Yeah.
But who knows? The timelines are always shifting at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's going to happen, it will be. I feel when Mars and Mercury are in retrograde. Or it could be the beginning of next year.
Mars and Mercury in retrograde in the end of October, are they?
Yeah, Mars is in retrograde now, and it will be till the 14th of November, and then Mercury turns retrograde on the 13th. And Mercury retrogrades have all been in water signs this year, which controls the rain, the water.
Yeah.
So the levels kind of start upping. So we've really got to look out for emotional energy around this time, and normally you get the things that leak with, when you get an annoying drip in your car or your washing machine overfills with water and spills out everywhere. It's like little annoying things like that, but it will be tapping you into your emotions and seeing where you're not kind of accepting them or letting them go. It's going to be an interesting time.
And another question really that would be on everyone's lips is, obviously, Christmas. Is that a time that you feel that we will be in lockdown? Do you see anything in the stars with that?
No, I think, I mean, the week before Christmas is when there's going to be that big kind of event. It's got Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto kind of stuff going on, and it's going to be quite an interesting time. People are saying that there's solar flares coming towards us. It'll be around that time. There'll be some kind of shift.
Yeah.
Around the 2021.
Which of course is the winter equinox, isn't it?
Yes, and it's the equinox as well. There's just so
And
much
it's what the
kind of
Christians
like,
pinch for Christmas, basically, on the 25th.
yeah, so it is going to be an interesting kind of week around that Christmas time.
Yeah.
But myself, I feel like things, if they're going to do it, they'll do it before,
yeah.
Rather than over Christmas.
I've got a couple of comments here. Sharon Abbott has said, welcome along, Sharon, by the way. She said, Mischief Night, we celebrated by being nuisances. Love that. We celebrated Guy Fawkes when we were kids. He was a hero. No penny for the guy from us. Daphne Kavanagh, welcome along. 100% Clint Denny. The global consciousness is rising. I think COVID-19 has been like the dark night of the soul on a global scale. She says she's off to Narnia.
Oh, yeah, well done.
Yeah, can we all come with you, please? I'm waiting for my ship to come and get me off this planet, basically, and take all the Inviewits with me.
It sounds great, and I do think that is going to come in, but I think it's going to take 3 or 4 years probably before it's actually all kind of settled. It just feels like we're going to have these kind of conflicts for a little while, and then it will settle. But we're coming through the worst of it, and it is. I think a lot of people that have had COVID as well have said that they feel like it's the dark night of the soul. You're having like those fevers and the cough, and it's like you're getting rid of all the stuff that you no longer need in your body. So
and the problem is some of that stuff is actually what we've eaten or drank, because it's all in the food chain, isn't it? And it's all what we breathe in chemtrails and all sorts of. It's loads of crap, basically.
Yeah, we are all. We are. We're contaminated.
We are contaminated humans. And as you know, all of us carry loads of viruses. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they get triggered from our immune system play. So looking after our immune system is what is important.
Yeah. In amongst my gap, I had flu and all sorts, but I didn't have COVID. I just had the flu. But that was about a clearance, you know what I mean? And when we get...
And our bodies do need to go through that every now and then just to have that clear out.
Absolutely. It's probably all the beer I've drunk, to be honest. But it's always... I mean, anyone out there has any questions for our wonderful, amazing Teresa Searle? She's going to go through the stars in a minute. Please put them on the comments box. We're on Facebook and YouTube Live. We've actually upgraded here. See, it's great. It's fantastic. We're going beaming out to 2 places at once, which is fantastic. So if any comments come up, obviously I'll let you know as we go on. So what's in store for October for the stars for all of us?
Okay, so starting with Aries. So Aries should be feeling quite good spirits at the beginning of this month and maybe wanting to change your style. The new moon coming up on the 16th, you'll be feeling flirty, and if single, a new relationship could be on the horizon, or a committed one will be renewed. The full moon on Halloween brings good news to a money matter that may have been ongoing, and you can take a sigh of relief. It's a must be true to yourself and your beliefs. Mars may be nudging you to redefine your goals. Mars is obviously the ruling planet of Aries, so be aware that their energy levels might be feeling a bit flat right now, but it's a good time to look and where you want to go moving forward. Taurus, you may be wanting to take some time out beginning of this month. Make sure you set boundaries, schedule some time to time. The new moon on the 16th is a great time to look at your health. You may be putting off that exercise regime, but it's the best time for you to start, and will be pleased with results if you can stick to it. The full moon on Halloween is a good time to step out of your comfort zone and do something new and different. It could bring a few surprises and will be highly sensitive to the needs of others and your own. Mercury turning retrograde in your relationship house may cause some communication issues. To Gemini, you'll be able to relax a little this month and be feeling in the mood to get creative and have some fun. The new moon on the 16th, you'll be feeling excited and may decide to start a new project. You may also be feeling in a passionate mood. The full moon at month's end, you'll be highly intuitive and feeling in the spirit of Halloween. You may decide to have a little party or do a ceremony. Your ruler Mercury is in a backward spin from the 13th, so make sure that you prepare for any travel delays and proofread your text before sending and make sure you're sending to the right person. So Cancer, you may be feeling like you are moving one step forward and two back when it comes to relationships and your creativity. The new moon on the 16th, you'll be thinking about sprucing up your home or having a clear out ready for the colder months. The full moon at Halloween could bring a few surprises and would be a good time to do something within a group setting. You may even be teaching or facilitating something yourself. Leo, you may be letting go of some control this month. The equinox may have left you feeling rather tired and feel happy to relax for a while and look within, which may surprise people around you, as normally you are the one organising. The new moon on the 16th, you have a chance to resolve an issue with a sibling or a neighbour. The full moon on Halloween is stirring up your work zone, and you may decide to make an unexpected change or go for that new position. Virgo, you are ready to embrace the unknown and learn new things and see new places. Your ruling planet Mercury turns retrograde from the 13th and will have you in a bit of a spin if you have not made your usual list. Neighbours or family members be expecting a lot of you at this time or pushing your buttons. The new moon, you are thinking about finances and working out your future income. The full moon on Halloween is a great day to visit somewhere new and different, or you may finally finish a project or study. The Libra, you will be finding yourself feeling balanced this month and finding the perfect way to give time to others and time out for you. At the beginning of this month, you would have been feeling romantic. So it's a good time to schedule a date or watch some soppy movies. It's also the perfect time to heal any wounds between yourself and a loved one. The new moon on the 16th is in your sign and is a great time for a fresh start, whether it's a job, relationship, a diet, or a newfound confidence. You're feeling positive about moving forward. The full moon on Halloween, you'll be tuning into others' emotions and may get some psychic insight. There may also be surprises when it comes to your property or inheritance. Scorpio, you are quite happy this month to be in your own bubble and not get caught up in any drama going on around you. Your planet Pluto moving in full direction will be very welcome for you, and you will gain a sense of full direction, community spirit, and more able to go with the flow. The new moon on the 16th is the perfect day to escape and indulge yourself in all your senses, in a place where you feel totally at peace. The full moon on the Halloween, love is in the air and will be wanting to live for the moment and do something daring and different. Sagittarius.
Fantastic sign.
Luck is on your side this month, so do not miss out on any opportunities. New doors will be opening, especially if you're wanting to live a bit more freely. The new moon on the 16th, you're feeling like doing something within a community or with friends. If you're thinking of starting a new project, now is the time to get planning. The full moon on Halloween, you may have a clear out or decide that you need to reduce or enhance the hours of work that you give out to others. Mercury turns retrograde in your house of secrets, so someone may tell you one, or you may accidentally let one slip out, so watch out, Clint. It's a good time to redefine your dreams and goals. The Capricorn, Pluto moving forward this month is going to bring you some light relief. You will now start to feel more in control of the direction that your life is heading. It is a time of positivity and taking chances. You can transform your life now. The new moon on the 16th is a time where a new beginning can begin for you in the workplace. You feel ready and excited for the new challenge. The full moon that falls on Halloween has you in the mood for some fun, creativity and romance. Do not be surprised if you hear of a new admirer. Aquarius, you may have had to take a few detours this year, but a new opportunity may come knocking that you never thought you would do pre-pandemic, and maybe combining travel with work. The new moon on the 16th indicates a new study or course that you will teach to others. Do not put it off. On the full moon on Halloween, home is where your heart is, and you may decide that it needs a good spruce up or thinking about making changes. It could also indicate a family member leaving or going to pastures new, or a new pet entering. With your planet Uranus strongly linked to this moon and Mercury in retrograde, watch out for surprises within the home or a revelation from a family member. And finally, Pisces, you'll find it easier than normal to go with the flow. when it comes to finances and any changes. You are accepting what is and letting go of control thanks to the retrograde Mars. The new moon on the 16th, you'll be very connected to your intuition and your psychic senses. It's a good time for any spiritual work. You may also be investing some money into a new scheme or towards your property. The full moon on Halloween is a time you'll want to communicate with another, but keep your emotions in check and be honest. Be aware with Mercury retrograde, it may not come out the way you intended. There may also be something going on within your neighbourhood. Yeah, so a big...
loads and loads of things going on, aren't there?
Lots going on. Obviously, this month we've had 2 full moons, so it's known as
and these full moons,
known as the blue moon.
Sorry to butt in, but I do feel the last full moon was incredibly powerful.
Oh yeah, I mean, in Aries, it's kind of like it's a real kind of like cleansing moon, looking back at like the last year, because Aries is the start of the zodiac. And it's always the strongest moon and the one you can see the brightest because it's known as the harvest moon. Yeah. It's got that bit of a red tinge to it. Yeah. And it's really strong. I mean, I was really tired. From that moon.
I think a lot of us are like that. And we are busy. We're all doing things, but I do feel that tiredness comes down to the effects of making us stop and rest a bit more than we normally would.
It was conjunct Chiron, which is the healing planet. So it was a lot to do with healing and repairing our wounds, and looking at what upsets us, what we need to let go of, and healing all of that. So I think that's why it triggered people a lot more than maybe what it normally would. And just a heads up, the full moon on Halloween is, interestingly, it's conjunct Uranus, which is all about change and unexpected kind of stuff happening. So that's definitely one to kind
Halloween,
of watch out for.
The 31st, I think, is actually the day that we leave, isn't it? Brexit.
Oh, is that the day that they've said it is?
I think it is.
Oh, interesting. It's definitely a day of the unexpected. So it's a day.
And of course, it's a day with Halloween. It's where the veils are so thin. So basically, everything. It's the only time that monsters can actually go outside, isn't it?
Yes.
Louis Lewis says hello. Evening, Clint, and evening to you. So I haven't seen Louis Lewis for ages.
Hi,
and Jane Brooks says she's a Cancerian, and she says, please could you ask how long Mercury will be in retrograde for?
So Mercury is always retrograde for 3 weeks. So it turns retrograde on the 13th, and it moves forward on the 3rd of November. But be aware that Mercury moves into what's called a shadow period, so energy is still a little bit up and down the week before and afterwards as well. That's just something to be aware of. So this week we're kind of going into that shadow period where things might start to have those kind of hiccups and communication issues. But generally Mercury's always retrograde for 3 weeks. It's the last one of the year, so that's good to know. Quite often it's normally near Christmas. So it's actually quite nice that it's a bit earlier.
It's always about miscommunication as well, isn't it? And making sure things are right.
Yeah, miscommunication, emails going missing, scheduling earlier for travel. Like travel can be quite difficult. And like I said, because it's in a water sign, the weather's affected. Because it's water energy, there's rain, flooding, that kind of energy coming in.
Well, we've got plenty of that at the moment, I think. Right. God. And do you think we will ever be back doing psychic fairs?
Maybe next summer.
Yeah, I think you're right. It won't be to then, will it?
No, I don't think it will be beforehand.
Because we all miss seeing each other as well, don't we?
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Not doing that, and kind of like we're doing workshops as well. It's not the same.
No.
You can't have as many people, or it just makes it trickier to actually do them. So it's a strange
time. But you're busy. You're keeping busy. Obviously, I if you're like me, you're very busy, and lots of people want to know what's going on and how it affects them, and how it's about when people come for help, it's about bolstering and supporting and bringing out the person within, isn't it?
that's what it's about. And I've been busy. I've just been doing readings on astrology. I decided not to go back to Reiki and Indian head because I'm not happy wearing a mask and a visor.
I know.
So
I know. Oh God.
Kept that back.
I know.
But I'm concentrating on doing my readings on astrology at the moment.
Yeah, it's not really good turn up doing a reading in a spacesuit, really, is it? And it's enough to frighten anyone, to be honest. And then visors look horrible, to be honest.
Yeah, very, very odd. I was quite happy just to wear a visor, but when they said, close contact mask, I was just like, I'd rather not. And what I don't get about the mask thing now is like, so today I went out to Queen Tea with some friends and you're sat down at the table, it's fine, and you've got to get up and wear it to the toilet. And me wearing it to the toilet is where you're going to get germs into it.
Well, and there's a lot of people say, that we're breathing in what should go out. Well,
yeah, but even people that work at the hospital, they don't wear a mask to the toilet.
No, and if you watch the news, no ministers wear masks anywhere.
No.
I mean, had Boris Johnson planing a bit of wood, standing in a room with nobody there wearing masks, gloves or nothing. And he didn't either, Madness.
It is bonkers.
One law for one law for another. Isn't it interesting, though, going back, the fact that, it's a 10 p.m. curfew right across this country for pubs. But if you're an MP, you can stay in there till 1 o'clock in the morning in the Houses of Parliament. What about that? Absolute disgrace.
Oh, you just can't write it, can you?
No, it's just ridiculous. Teresa, you've been amazing. Let people know where they can get hold of you.
Yeah, so my website is www.intuitsoul.co.uk, and I'm also on Facebook, fb.com/intuitsoul.
Fantastic.
But I'm available for readings and astrology at the moment. I've got a few appointments this week for if anyone.
Brilliant.
Thanks for having me, Glenn.
Michael J. Vickery says the visors seem to remind me of riot police helmets. Well, they do a little bit, yeah. It's good to have you on board, Michael. Yes, you've been amazing, Teresa. Thank you very much. And we will get you back and see if we've all survived October in November to see what November brings.
Going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know that people out there, and I'm not just saying it, but people do really look forward to you coming on the show because you bring a very no-nonsense, very open, flexible approach to understanding what's going on in the world right now as well as with ourselves. So it's really good. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Good evening. Take care.
We'll speak soon. Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
The amazing Teresa Searle. What a lovely lady she is. And immense. Makes a lot of sense. Do you know what I mean? In relation to what's going on in the world we live in right now and putting it down to what's going on within the planets and stars and that. We're now going to ring. We are a little bit late, but what a surprise. It's no surprise really, is it? We're never on time here. We're ringing Andrew Hobbs, who is our next guest.
How you doing?
Hello, Andrew. How are you? I was just going to give you a big intro, actually. Andrew Hobbs is
don't embarrass me.
Is a divine poet. He's probably one of the nicest blokes I've ever met in my life. And honestly, I'm not sending you a check or anything. But he is a really nice guy. He's incredibly intuitive. He's a fantastic poet. And all round really nice person that walks in love, isn't it? Is that a good way to explain it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. I think love is all we need and all that kind of stuff.
That's a song there somewhere.
All we need is love. The Beatles sang about it. It was good enough for them. It's good enough for me.
Absolutely. And I know that we tried to get you on before, but I know that you're in lockdown in Ireland and all manner of. You've had a bit of a journey. But we got you now, which is really good. And it's always great to have you on, Andrew, spreading your amazing poetry and your amazing wisdom. And we're trying desperately on this show and we have to talk about COVID and all sorts of that from time to time. But one of the most important things about this show is bringing a fun aspect. That's why I'm sitting here with a load of lights all around my head tonight, just to bring a fun aspect to things. Do you know what I mean?
Well, good for you. I mean, that's what we have been severely lacking in this world. I mean, we seem to have forgotten how to laugh, and we seem to have forgotten how to take ourselves a little less seriously than we do, and all that kind of thing. And surely that horrible word that you mentioned earlier. Yeah, well, you know, there's what can I say? I could speak reams about that, but
no, I know. But if we do that, Kieran, all we're going to do is lend it a load of energy. Absolutely, really I agree. Yeah. And I mean, what we look at is what the problem is, and obviously the problem that we've had is the fact I'm not giving it any credence, but the problem is misinformation, fear porn, all manner of stuff. But what I want to look at is what it's doing to people, because it suppresses them and it holds them back, and it holds them back from being themselves and connecting to themselves and connecting their love, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But you know, I guess there's that age-old message that says, you know, we have free will and choice, and you know, we do to a certain degree. But the trouble is with let's just call it intensive programming. It has a way of brainwashing people, and that's effectively what's happened. I mean, people are just now believing everything that they're being told, and it's up to discernment, and it's up to that whole thing of you know, working out for ourselves what we feel. Gut
instinct and intuition, Andrew.
Right. Huh?
Gut instinct and intuition.
But yeah, I mean, feelings connected to intuition. You know, thoughts connected to the mind, feelings connected to intuition. So effectively, if you really want to kind of feel your way around the world, connect to your intuition and also come from your heart. So, and that won't lie to you. The trouble is with the mind is it tends to go into splinter mode. So it'll go, well, it might be this or it could be that. It's possibly this. Well, having said that, it might be that. And it goes into all of this kind of, you know, like turmoil about what it might or might not be.
Yeah. When
really intuition, especially if we go with our first thought rather than the second one, because that's another thing that Melchizedek used to say. He used to say, first thought intuition, second thought the mind.
Yeah.
So if you're going with the second thought, you're outside of your intuition, because you know your intuition is going to let you know 10 times out of 10 what the real truth is for you, because everybody's truth is different.
Absolutely, but we're all part of a huge pattern or wave of positivity on this planet, awakening and opening up, aren't we?
You know what? If you can keep away from, you know, the box, you know, the box that everybody is sitting in front of, if you can keep away from that and just tune into your kind of like higher light, let's call it that, then effectively you're not going to be sucked into the darkness, and you'll be able to sort of like, you know, see what's in front of you. So that's what I think is quite exciting about all this, really, is that, you know, no matter what they throw, or they, you know, whoever they are,
whatever it is,
decide to, you know, feed us. You know, we have this opportunity to say, no, I don't like that. You know, that doesn't sit well with me. It makes me feel sick. Yeah. So I'm not going to eat that. I'm just not going to bother. So, you know, discernment is
and
the key,
there is more people like that.
Everything's about discernment.
There is more people doing that. There's more people not watching the TV, not watching the news.
No, they're turning off in droves. They've had enough now. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, keep spinning the same old story. In come all the numbers. In come this. In come that. You know, and I mean, I know we're giving it credence like we said we would.
Well, we're not. We're not really. All we're doing is outlining what it is really. And I'm sure I know people out there listening will find it useful. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I wouldn't even talk about it, to be honest, because it's. Well, I'm so bored of it, to be honest. You wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah, I'm with you all the way, Clint. You know, I just think to myself, you know what? It's been going on for 6 months now, and hey, they've taken a small story a very long way, and you know, they've made it into something so big and so terrifying that people are now going, oh my God, we're all going to die if we don't wear a mask, if we don't do this, if we don't do that. You know, please. You know, I woke up this morning and, you know, Melchizedek must have known that I was coming on here, because he just, I woke up this morning and I was just like about 6 o'clock, I suppose, and I was really tired. I couldn't quite get myself together. I thought, I'll go back to sleep then. I tried to go back to sleep, and then I heard 2 words. I heard cover up.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, so what does that mean? And he just said, write it. So I wrote this poem called Cover Up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to read it to you.
Yeah, fantastic. Right. I love you. I love your poetry, Andrew.
Well, thank you, but it's not this one's not been seen yet, because it only came in this morning. But
okay, that's real. Well, it's very kind of you to share that with us.
Well, it's what you call an exclusive or something, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah.
So this is exclusive to the Clint Denyer show, everybody. So and it's called Cover Up, and well, it speaks for itself, I think. It's written from the perspective of the government talking to us.
Yeah.
With reams of intelligence and wisdom. So this is it, Cover Up. If all of you just cover up, we promise you will do our best to go about our shady business while putting patience to the test. And don't worry that you're breathing in a host of germs. You'll be okay, just as long as you're immune from all the stupid things we do and say. We ask that when you're in the shops, you cover up. It's just in case you infect a lettuce or each other, surely the end of the human race. But don't forget that eating out is a great idea, so raise your cups to the joy of knowing you can go without the need to cover up. You're traveling on a choo-choo train? Then don't forget to wear your mask. We know it might remove the fun, but it's really not a lot to ask. We'll keep you safe as you journey on, and it's mandatory, we'll have you know. Unless, of course, you're a politician. We don't have to, we can go. Wherever we want to, we're exempt from silly rules, because they're fools who do the things we tell them to. We're above all that. We're way too cool. Cover up now, don't be shy. You know you want to, don't be afraid. Such a travesty to think you won't. You must support our great crusade. Because if you don't, you'll be swept away by a bad disease, a lethal one, that's already wiped out half the world, and that's a fact. Ho-hum, ho-hum. We care for you, we really do. You're precious, each and every one. We care so much we wouldn't want you clogging up your terrified lungs. And we wouldn't want you speaking out or suggesting we might be corrupt. So shut your mouths, put on your masks, and together, let's all cover up.
That is absolutely amazing, Andrew, and just about sums up the not giving it any credence at all. It sums up the complete and utter nonsense that we live in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and well, that's why you and I think it's nonsense, but there's a lot of people out there who see it very differently, and I guess everybody's entitled to their own opinions. But I'm just a great believer in the truth will set us free. Yeah,
and you know what? That actually is very true, because this happened a long time ago, where all of a sudden, and whether that is down to all the terrible things happen, like the crossover of what we call the archetypal goddess energy in Princess Diana, and lots of other things happening which were wrong in our reality, like the Twin Towers, the two tsunamis that killed 250,000 people. This opened the doorway to no veils between the worlds, which means that anything that was out there that was unjust, a lie, or untruth would be seen for what it is.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I was having a word with Melchizedek the other day, and I just said, "Hey, Father, what can we expect to see next?" And there was a gentle pause, and then one word came flying back: disclosure. And that's what's coming.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And when it comes, oh my God, it's going to come in serious waves. And people are going to go, what? We've been lied to? Oh, well, actually, you might possibly have been, yeah. So, and, people are going to suddenly, not just about COVID, but about all sorts of things. Stuff going to come out of the woodwork. Yeah. And really, well, it's about bloody time, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Because the whole system of the way we live is wrong, and it is very much about opening up and developing the soul within the person. In other words, instead of taking, giving, instead of harming, embracing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean we've forgotten the basics. I mean, we simply just don't treat ourselves to the basics. We treat ourselves to everything but.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, we need to be coming from a place of love. Of course, we understand that. We also need to be considerate, compassionate, thoughtful, kind, generous. You know, all of those things that, you know, bring people together, that don't cause a great divide.
Yeah.
And that's what we have going on in this world, a great divide. Separation, segregation, all of those words. You know, we simply just don't harmonize with one another anymore. No. We don't even speak to one another a lot of the time. And if we are going to speak to one another, we speak to each other via email. Oh, well, that's nice, isn't it? You know, there's so much love attached to a bloody email. You know, it's like, no, I don't think so. Yeah. So we, as much as modern technology can bring us in touch with one another and can help us communicate, and of course, you know, what are we doing now? We're talking down a computer line. And we're connecting, and that's wonderful. So it has the ability to connect us, but it also has the ability to disconnect us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so we have to discern what is serving and what is not serving. You know, and if it's disconnecting us, it's doing us a disservice.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's connecting us in the right positive ways, then it's doing us a great service.
Yeah.
But like anything, you know, where there's, you know, shadow, there's light, and where there's light, there's shadow.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it is. So
and it is a change fraction that we're going through, and change is difficult, and it will have repercussions on the planet in relation to how people conduct or behave, because, you know, some people go hysterically mad with what's going on because they're so bogged down in it, because they haven't opened themselves up, and they need to do almost a cold turkey treatment, really. And then there'll be others that just do it always anyway.
Yeah, and I saw a lovely video from Rachel Elnor the other day, one of the ex-Dragon's Den girls.
Oh yeah.
Fabulous video she put out, and she was talking about the ones that can't be kind of hypnotized, brainwashed, and programmed are the ones that have worked on their third eye, the ones that are consciously awake, because you can't pull the wool over the conscious eye.
No,
you know, you just can't do it. You know, but most people aren't going into their sort of sacred selves. They're keeping outside of it. Yeah. So of course they're much easier to brainwash. They're much easier to program. They're much easier to, you know, spin yarns to. They'll just listen to whatever they're listening to, and if it's constantly thrust in their faces, they'll suddenly go, "Oh, it must be true then." You know, because, you know, I saw it on the BBC.
I know.
Yeah, right?
I know.
Yeah. So that's it. You know, I mean, I just turn the television off. I don't have any interest in watching BBC or any of the other stuff that goes on about this thing, because, you know, effectively it's the quickest way of dragging my energy down. Yeah. And I suddenly just go, you know, I can almost feel myself shrinking.
Yeah,
you know,
I understand that.
It's this like, you know, shriveled up tangerine where I've got no life in me whatsoever, and it's like, why do I need to be doing this? This is counterproductive to keeping the vibration up. We need to keep the vibration up. We don't need to squash it. That's not what we're here for. And all this COVID stuff just squashes the vibration. It just keeps people. It just keeps people
locked them up. Keep them locked up. That's the thing.
Yeah. We're all being locked up safe. Oh, are we? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Not the way I see it. So I don't think there's anything safe about it.
No.
You know? It's ridiculous.
We've got a few comments here I'd like to read to you from various people that are watching, listening right now. Daphne Kavanagh says, I've come to the conclusion we are all tired, as we cannot just be anymore. We have to think our every move ahead of time. My grandson's birthday today, and he has had to see us in shifts. She also says, I don't have a TV for that very reason that you spoke about. Stella, who's listening, watching right now, says, very rarely watch the news, but only buy a newspaper if I need it for laying on the floor when I'm painting.
Well, good for you, Stella.
That's brilliant.
Put a nice dark colour. That's a great idea.
Daphne Cameron also says, I think awareness and open forums will not give away our energy, fear, and separation will. Gemma says your poem was absolutely incredible. And Daphne says, bloody brilliant, Andrew. Sharon Abbott says, I watch the news less now than I ever did. I just feel so sad I haven't seen and been with my family as much as I'm allowed. I've met up with my daughter's son and grandchildren recently after a long time. Wonderful seeing each other. Don't know what to believe, but feel obliged to follow advice.
Oh, don't be obliged to follow advice. Just follow your intuition. Follow the feeling. That's all you need to do. It's just like if you come out of the head and you come into the feeling and you follow the feeling, it will take you into the very place you need to be. You know, if you stay there with that wonderful contraption called the mind, it will simply, like I said earlier, it will simply splinter your thinking. That's what it will do, and it will try and control you. Whereas, you know, that lovely free-flowing thought that you get behind the feeling is simply just going to take you where you need to go. You know, and you know, it's just a simple question, really. Does it feel right to me, or does it not feel right to me?
Yeah.
And if you keep the head out of it, you'll be able to tap into that feeling. If you put the head in there, you go, "Oh, I can't feel the thing."
Yeah.
Well, of course you can't, because you're in the head. You know,
Absolutely.
when was the last time you felt anything in the head? You know, you don't feel a damn thing in the head. You feel it in the heart. So if you want answers to the questions, drop into your heart. Yeah. That's all you need to do, and that heart will go, I've got someone to talk to at last.
Yeah, and
it'll answer any question you have about anything connected to feeling.
Yeah, and she says thank you very much for
bless your heart. Well, thank you very much for tuning in and listening, because you know, as someone said earlier, somebody else pointed out, really, you know, forums are great in terms of, as long as they're productive and they're not sort of a slanging match. You've turned to a slanging match, then effectively they're not much use at all, really. No. You know, they simply just, you know, again, they splinter. So if we can keep it in a harmonious place, and we go, okay, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, you know, they can do that. You know, do I think that, you know, well, my personal belief system is that, you know, we're on the cusp of something pretty magnificent.
I think we are, and I think we should be in celebratory mode, because light has won. Do you know what I mean?
Say that again?
Light has won a battle here. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, it's been winning it for ages. You know, we just haven't been privy to seeing it. I mean, a lot of the light work, if you excuse that pun, is being done, has been done in the galaxies and the cosmos. There's been a massive galactic battle going on, and that one has been won, according to Melchizedek. So, who am I to question what he knows? I mean, he knows everything. So, effectively, you know, that particular chapter 1 of light is done. Chapter 2 moves us through, and chapter 2 is moving us through to the new. And the new is very different to how it's been before. We are not here to be kept down. You know, we're not here to swallow our own breath.
No.
We're here to let the breath out. Yeah. We're here to speak up. We're here to actually, you know, own our voices, not stick a mask over our faces and go, that's it, cover up, we've got to cover up, like the poem says. Cover up? What the hell, you know? We don't need to wear masks. No. We just don't, you know? No. Did we ever wear a mask when the flu virus of 2017 killed 350,000 or whatever it was? It was a huge amount of people. We didn't wear a mask. We weren't even mentioned. It wasn't even talked about.
No.
You know, so suddenly we get this one. It comes in and they build it up and build it up. Do you want to know something? I'm on a bit of a rant here. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I was back in England. I got to tell you this because it made me smile, to be honest. I was in Romsey. I don't know if anyone knows Romsey, but
I know Romsey.
It's a place in Hampshire, and I was just going under a bridge I've gone under many times, and it's probably the most insignificant bridge. It doesn't really, you know, it doesn't turn me on at all. I got to it, and I thought to myself, what are those signs? They must be doing roadworks. They must be doing roadworks. As I got closer, it said, one on one side of the bridge and one on the other side of the bridge. Keep your distance. Play safe on the other side. And I'm thinking to myself, what on earth is going on that they have to put a sign under a bridge so everybody sees it, because they can't miss the bridge. They've got to go under the bridge to get out the other side. So effectively, what we're doing is we're just crossing a bridge. That's what we're doing. If you want a metaphor, you know, it's a metaphor for where we're going next. Yeah. You know, we're going over Rainbow Bridge.
We are.
We are. And when we get to the other side, you know, we're going to go into this, you know, massive kaleidoscope of choice and colour.
Prism, a massive prism with millions and millions and millions of roads.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we're just going to have a different world to the one we've got now. And, you know, to be honest, I've got to say thank heavens, because the one we've been building for ourselves for quite some time now isn't built on the right foundations, is it?
No. It needs to be built on the one thing that exists, that we're part of as humans as we are. Forget about the soul beings inside, but we're still connected. Is nature. Nature.
Yeah, exactly. But we've built a house on materialism and greed.
Yeah.
And selfishness and all of those things. That's the house we've built. Now we're crossing Rainbow Bridge. We're going to build a different house, and it's called the House of Love.
Yeah.
And that's the one that a lot of people are going to be a lot happier in, because, quite frankly, the house of greed and materialism and selfishness and me. Has it made us happy? No, it hasn't.
No.
And when we come into this world, just as a brief reminder for all of us, when we come into this world, we come in naked. And you know what? When we leave, we go out the same way. We don't take our BMWs with us. We don't take our massive houses.
No.
That's not what happens.
No.
We take our souls back home, and we are here to grow and expand in the soul. We're not here to gather as many fast cars and fast women or whatever else turns you on. That's not what we're here for. Yes, that's not to say we can't have those things. We can.
They're all just experiences.
Yeah, they're toys, and they're kind of the product. They're products to keep us away from the real truth of the matter. The real truth of the matter is we are conscious, living, breathing, feeling, generous human beings. And when we're going after all these other things, these toys that kind of distract us, and they are all distractions, we're coming away from what we need to be studying, which is ourselves. We need to study ourselves.
I agree. I completely.
Our true selves, not our imaginary selves.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong with the imagination. Heavens above, I use it all the bloody time. But it's not about that illusion that we're being fed.
No. Because
the illusion is not the reality. And we can carry on believing in the illusion if we want. And sure enough,
it's not real. Nothing's real.
It's not real.
Nothing's real.
Yeah. I mean, what's that statement that came out a long time ago, Clint? I don't know who said it, but it was bang on the money. Only love is real.
Yeah.
Only love is real. Everything else in the world that's not from a place of love is not real. Yeah. It's simply a concoction, if you like.
And looking at if you like ourselves, our souls, if you like, there's two ways of looking at this. Well, two things I'll throw in the mix. It's the fact that we're here at this time, obviously, because we're talking to each other as humans, but our souls are ancient and old. And all of us would have had choices before we came here. And we chose to come here for whatever reason that may be, whether it's shedding karma, whether it's to open up new portals, be an expeditionary force, bring a love in, bring something new. But we chose to be here at this time, which realistically is a time of what I would see in the past as a time when Atlantis imploded on itself by turning its people against each other and causing division. And also another point is the fact that there is another way of looking at it, is the fact that, as mad as it sounds, but we've all done this before.
Yeah, I mean, there is the train of thought that says, as you rightly say, this has all been done before. So effectively, this is just a rerun. Yeah. So we kind of know what the outcome is because it's all been done. That's parallel lifetimes and all that kind of thing. I mean, I must confess, I find some of that pretty confusing because, I'm just a simpleton. But, ultimately, that there are people out there far more qualified to talk about that than me. I don't know that much. But, I just feel my way around the world. That's what I do. I just kind of go, what does it feel like, And I think really we can go a long way just by following a feeling.
Yeah,
we can.
Absolutely.
That's how it's done. I just got to read you something else. It's called A Melody for Change. I haven't posted this yet, so this one's not been seen either.
Wow, but another exclusive. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, you're welcome. Where do you want me to sort of send the bill?
I'll pay you in love.
Bless your heart. Okay, so it's called A Melody for Change. I can hear a melody rolling through the valleys, the softest, sweetest melody my ears have ever heard. It tickles me to hear it, To see it lift the spirits of all that wish to listen, it's clearly come to stir. To wake the sleeping people from their apathy and slumber, for it triggers so much hunger in the driven tribes of light. I hear it and it stuns me into knowing that all the great believers have got their thinking right. It's weaving with a passion past anything that holds it in a blocking place that tries to make it fade. What a lovely melody. It's one we all can dance to. A melody for change that says hearts will make the grade. That we don't have to listen to whatever we don't want to. The melody is adamant that we can write the words that speak of how we see it and how we want to live it. This melody was written to wake the sleeping birds. More and more can hear it now. It's pouring through the portals. A melody that liberty has said is here to stay. A melody that moves us through to dances in our hearts. More and more can feel it as they all begin to sway. To one great tune that makes the room for happiness to swing, for everything we're missing to step out on the floor. This melody is magical and presses every button, found in us that wakes us to that knock upon the door. Hearts have fallen silent because heads have taken over, and we think we have to listen to a truly gloomy tune. When that's not fact, we have a choice. We can make the music carved from instruments that lift the layers of doom, that sing to us a melody that take us past the heavy, into lighter aspects, the beauty of ourselves. This melody I'm hearing that's rolling off the valleys is one that comes from deep within our inner ancient wells.
Wow. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely incredible. I mean, I know this is a channeled, as what would be called channeled. It comes through you as a medium. Poetry is so important. It's so uplifting. It swells in the emotions. It swells with inside us, and it opens our inner eyes, if you like, to the reasoning of what we are with inside ourselves, and opens the love and the emotions that we carry.
I agree. I mean, and of course, it's an art form.
Yes.
And all of the creative arts do that. That's why it's so important that people paint, that people do pottery, that people, write, whether they're writing poetry, whether they're writing fiction, whatever they're writing, it makes no difference. Do those creative,
something
flower
creative.
arranging, whatever you want to do that kind of like, excites your creative, your inner creative vision. Yeah. Because that's really, that's using that loving skill within. And we have to really nurture that now. And it's quite interesting, really, that what's going on with this situation we have going on around us right now is basically stopping humanity from interacting. You can't go to a concert, you can't go and watch anything. It's not possible. They've taken it all away. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, because of some virus. Oh yeah, of course. Okay, whatever. But we don't do well when we're not feeding that side of us. No, we don't. I agree. Because we then go into the other side, the left brain, which is all scientific. It says, prove this to me, prove that to me. You can't tell me this. You need to prove it to me. Well, you know what? Another thing Melchizedek said to me once a long time ago. He said, faith is what you can't see. You can't see faith. You just believe faith. Yeah. And there's a big difference, but your scientists will say, no, I can't have faith in that until you prove it to me. Yeah. But faith is saying, well, I don't need to prove myself to you. All you need to do is believe in me. Yeah. And that's really what it's all about. It is. And that's what I install in people all the time. The magic of your existence is the belief in you. The belief in you is everything. Can I just say that Daphne Kavanagh says wow about your poem? Indeed. Shan Abbott said how beautiful. Daphne Kavanagh also says this utter nonsense has shook many awake who were idly following like sheep. Free will has been forgotten by many, but they are remembering now. We follow the law of one, and we are all one. Vibration is what we all are, and we choose to vibrate in different levels of consciousness. And Gemma says, allegedly, the COVID-19 virus is smaller than the mesh in a mask, apparently. Well, I mean, I mean, yeah, exactly. I just think we just got to kind of get a grip on common sense, really.
Yeah.
We're just not using common sense. We're using fear-based thought processes, and fear-based thought processes take away our common sense. They simply will. So we have just got to kind of get a grip and get back to reality, because at the moment we're living in la la land.
Yeah.
It's like, really,
and
it'll get there.
It's interesting if we look back, because obviously, I've known you a long time, Andrew, and we met in Glastonbury, the hub of everything, as you know. And I mean, you've read for me before, and obviously, you come out with this amazing, the Illuminated Works of Luke, which I'm still working on book 2. Unfortunately, I haven't finished it yet, but I did one. Get
yourself together, man. Come on.
I know, it's terrible, but the thing is, your life, like many, and I get this question all the time. You're an immense being with immense knowledge and wisdom because of the belief you carry. And that's the key, the belief you carry, and the channel and the communication, the connection you have. Now, everyone has that connection in one shape or form, whatever that may be, in whatever way it wants to show itself to you. But, the question I get asked all the time, and I'm sure you do a lot as well in readings and things you've done, is the fact that, I have people that, why is things so bad? Why don't it change? Why am I sat basically walking around in circles? Because they don't stop to look at themselves inside, to view on the factors within inside themselves they need to deal with. That is shedding what's not needed. That is opening themselves up and detaching what's not needed. That is clearing out the historical past knowledge of what you carry inside, and open them vacuum points for your voids to be filled with the love of you, basically.
Exactly. And the other thing we need to concentrate on, I think, is reminding ourselves that we're not shrunken beings. We're not small-minded beings.
No.
If we move the small self out of the way, guess what? We're going to bump into the high self.
Yeah.
And the high self is far more expansive than this shrunken version of self that says, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not this, I'm not that. We are the product of our thoughts. Our thoughts create our reality.
Yeah.
So if we say to ourselves, I can't, then guess what? We can't.
Yeah.
So it's that's it, because we're telling ourselves that we can't.
And all of us get to points, Andrew. And I know you have. I know I have. I know everyone that's in spirituality has, where the journey to be who you are isn't an easy one. We have to face things within inside ourselves. We have to face fears. We go into massive holes in the ground that we don't know how to get out of, but we put trust and faith in the belief of us, don't we?
Yeah, and we put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
We don't take 10 steps back. We simply just put one foot in front of the other. And sometimes it's the hardest thing in the world to do, because we're tired, we're beaten down, we haven't got the energy, we haven't got the motivation, we can't be bothered. I've done all of those, and I still do them, to be honest with you. Sometimes I get out of bed and I think, can't be bothered.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to get into that mindset. But I mean, I'm very fortunate because I can write, so it's one of those things that I do every day. I just discipline myself, so I literally write every day. That's how it has to be. So, but other people don't have that outlet, but there are other outlets, and one of the ones you mentioned a little while ago was nature.
Yeah,
and nature is a great unraveler, and it's a great way of taking forward steps. So, and it's free. Well, not all of it, but most of it out there. You can get out into nature quite quickly and freely, and you can interact with the birds and the lakes and the rivers.
Just listening to the wind, just sitting, listening to the wind, listening to the leaves. And look, I'm not a tree hugger. There's nothing wrong with hugging trees, but in that space, when you take time out, when you stop and you sit and you listen to the trees, listen to the wind, listen to the birds, you know, you're finding an inner calm and inner peace. You're slowing down a mechanism. You're getting off of a treadmill.
Yeah, exactly. And not everybody, far too many people get on that treadmill, and then they keep on sort of like running to stand still.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
it's a bit like the Earth spins so fast, we do stand still on it.
Yeah, but that's not putting one foot in front of the other. That's just literally running to stand still, and we're not going anywhere. You know, we're just simply just going round and round in circles. You know, the circle of life, in some respects, you know, of course, it's a circle. We start at one point and we end up back at that point, but it's what we do along the way that counts. You know,
and I think you're absolutely right, because I think people lose the definition of purpose, and you get lots of people, you've had it, I've had it, loads of people come to you and say, well, I don't know what my purpose is, and like, I've got a magic wand, or you've got a magic wand. The purpose comes from within inside you. It's what you have to open for that purpose to be there, for you to grasp, hold, or see and feel and sense. It's purpose. Sometimes the purpose is just to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes the purpose is just to spread the love.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to have an enormous purpose. We're not all Donald Trump, and we're not all, Boris or anything. You know, we haven't got these massive roles to play. You know, but in many ways we have got a massive role to play, because we have a heart that beats for love. And if we pour love out, guess what? We'll have a higher vibration on this planet. And if we all did that together, you know, what currently swamps us in darkness would all get blown away.
Yeah.
And we would have this lovely, beautiful, soft, gentle, loving world where people don't want to kind of tear themselves to shreds.
Yeah, because
it's not difficult to work out. Why
it's so alien is because the world, well, where I come from, there's nothing like this. Do you know what I mean? And you know, it's alien to a degree in what we are in, but we're in a change mechanism, and we're only here to be part of that change mechanism.
The other thing we got, of course, here is something called an ego.
Yeah,
and that ego is a driving force for people to go after the wrong things.
Yeah.
So we have to temper the ego, and we have to tell the ego, actually, no, that's not going to help me in the long term. That's not going to help me grow. That's not going to help me develop my true self. So therefore, I'm not going to follow it. But the ego is a very powerful thing, and it can turn our thinking upside down and inside out, and it can actually lead us astray if we let it. So we have to be aware of the ego, but we don't necessarily have to keep listening to it all the time. So that's another thing we have to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few comments I'd like to read out. Daphne Kamler says, I hope I pronounce his name right. Nassim Haramein has it right with regards to physics and spiritual evolution. I don't know that person, actually. Have you heard of that person?
Nassim? Yeah, I have,
yeah. Psychic Sylvie, who's been on the show herself. Hello, Sylvie. Welcome along. Says,
Hi,
well said, guys. She said, that's nice. Gemma says there's nothing more wonderful than listening to rainfall. I'll tell you what, you're absolutely right. I've listened to loads, and it's kept me awake most of the night as well.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of it, wasn't there?
Yeah, and Sharon Abbott says, I am glad for this connection, Clint. I don't have fears myself, but respect others who have. I express everything through my art. Others deal differently. I like your communication. That's nice. Thank you, Sharon.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, everybody does see it differently, but, you know, if we all come into soul space, we'll all see it the same way. And that's really that we all ascend in the, you know, and meet this place of oneness, which is what we're all about anyway. You know, and so effectively that soul space is one of the best places to inhabit, because it tells us exactly who we are and what we're here for.
I can't agree with you more. I mean, I used to do another show, as you know, and then I didn't do anything for a few years and went on a roller coaster ride up and down. all over the place, really. And then they said to me one day, well, you need to get back out there. You need to get out there and do something. And, you know, you need to get off your arse, basically. And Spirit gives you a kick up the arse. And it tells you need to do this show. And it tells you it's going to be the Inview. And you go on, then you have guests and all sorts. And do you know what's sad in this world? And that's why I'm doing this. Above all, it's not about me. I've got no ego whatsoever, as you know yourself. It is about giving the opportunity for people to gather in a place to have something real put in front of their eyes or ears. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you allow us to stand on a platform.
Yes.
You know, all of us, you know,
Yes.
either the ones that are speaking and the ones that are listening. We're standing on the same platform. We're sharing from that platform.
Yes.
And that platform allows us to air our views.
Yeah.
And you know, we're not going to get judged for that. We're not going to get censored for that.
No.
We're not going to get shot down for that.
No.
So that's good. And that's really how a democracy works. So
Absolutely.
lo and behold, we're not living in a democracy.
No, we're not.
We're living in a dictatorship.
A fascist dictatorship we live in.
We want you to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not what my understanding of democracy, to be honest.
No.
But there you go.
Because
not a politician.
no, there is more people that need this, like something like this, than ever before right now. That is not revolutionary, but is actually evolutionary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, uncensored, free speech.
Yes.
You know, yeah, of course there has to be a little bit of decorum shown at times, because otherwise people would get on and they'd be effing and blinding and they'd be, wow, you know, that's not really saying an awful lot. But at the same time, you know, we don't need all this censorship that's going on right now. You know, and I always think if they're censoring us, then they've got something to hide.
Yeah, of course.
You know, that's exactly what they've got, something to hide. They don't want us knowing certain things, so they censor us, and they don't want you knowing certain things, i.e. the human race. They don't want us knowing certain things, so effectively they say, no, you can't listen to anybody that doesn't share our view, because our view is the only one you need to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. You know, if that's what you say. But a lot of people are going, actually, no, that's not fair enough. You know, you're taking away my right to choose. And that is really what they're doing. They've just completely taken everybody's right away to choose.
Yeah.
They're saying, you know, you listen to us or else.
Yeah.
You know, and that's well, isn't that how Nazi Germany sprung up?
It's fascist dictatorship. It's Fourth Reich. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I want to reiterate a point, really, which I feel is very, very important, which really is that it's okay if you do drop down holes or you do get fearful. Look, myself, I'd readily admit that, you know, on my journey, as I said before, it's not an easy journey. And I know you've had the same, where you've lost everything, where you fall down holes. And I feel one of the most important things above all is the self-preservation that we hold within inside ourselves. At the time when we feel that there is no hope, no chance, no way forward, that is the time when change really is ready to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, I think that when we fall down the rabbit hole, you know, we usually find things down there that we didn't even know we had.
Yeah.
So, you know, great reserves of energy, great reserves of courage and strength. You know, that sometimes we have to drop down before we can raise up.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, I dropped down in my life, and you did too, and I know a lot of other people did, and everybody's got a story to tell.
Yeah.
But we can't keep telling the same old story, because, you know, we're here to write new stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, every day we need to be writing a new story. It's just like, you know, the old story doesn't work anymore. Well, wite another one then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Do something different. That's why I tell people you can do anything in life. If you want to do it, do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, you know, anybody can be anybody they want, and they don't have to be a version of somebody that sort of says, you know, you must be this and you must be that.
Yeah.
You know, and so many people like to point a finger. They'll just go, you know, you can't say this and you can't do that, you know, because I don't agree with it. Well, okay, you don't agree with it. That's your choice.
It's your choice.
We can all choose to disagree.
Absolutely.
We can all agree to disagree. So, you know, but I think there's a train of thought that says we all have to come together at this time.
Yeah.
You know, we have to become the collective rather than the splintered. You know, because the splintered go off in loads of different directions and they don't harmonize. We need to harmonize. We need to conserve our energies. We need to unite our energies, and we all need to be heading forwards to support the common cause, which has to be a more loving, more generous, more considerate, more thought-centered planet of love.
Yeah,
that's what we need. We need a planet of love. We do not need a planet of hatred, anger, bitterness, resentment, jealousy, and greed. We just don't need it.
No, I agree.
Because it's got us into a bloody great big rabbit hole that we now have to get ourselves out of.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I completely agree with you, Andrew. Absolutely agree with you. You're an immense being, young man. Absolutely immense being. I have enormous respect for you, and your support
likewise.
for the show. And coming.
I love coming on. I love coming on. I love getting the opportunity to share with you and your listeners and your other guests. I mean, it's just beautiful to be able to, as I said, share the platform. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, if people want to get hold of you or get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Well, I mean, I don't read anymore, so effectively, there's nothing to get in touch with me for. I stopped that now. I don't do that. So, whatever.
Facebook or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get on my Facebook page. You can, I think my telephone number's on there anyway. If anybody wants to contact me for whatever reason. But in terms of what do? I don't do what I used to do. So I simply focus on other things. So
that's really good. Really good. And
I
your
said
poetry
to the universe,
completely.
I said to the universe, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not serving me. I don't enjoy it. So I'm going to give it up. So I did.
And there's a lot of people, in that zone. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people in that zone that, it's something that is a level, and then you go up a level into something else. Do you know what I mean? And I completely understand that.
Well, sometimes, if you want to cross the line on your horse, you got to stop whipping it.
Absolutely.
And I was whipping the living daylights out of the one I was on, and it was getting nowhere. So I thought, that's it. I'm getting off this horse.
Yeah.
I'm off this horse.
Yeah.
I'll walk to the finishing line if that's what it takes, but I'm off the horse.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously, it'd be great to catch up with you one of these days again, Andrew. I'll tell you.
Well,
if you're down in the Glastonbury area or whatever, you never know.
Well, I mean, as I say, at the moment I'm in Ireland, so I'm not.
You're over in Ireland still. A fantastic country. I absolutely love it.
It's like I kind of like wake up with the leprechauns. It's quite amazing, really.
Brilliant.
And, there's elementals everywhere. It's just the most extraordinary place. And I have this place called Camlock, which is where I go and write every day. And it's this beautiful lock that's covered in mountains and hillsides. And I just sit there and I go, wow, how blessed am I?
Yeah.
So
it's
like standing under a spotlight. I simply get there, and as soon as I get there, it's like the universe shine a light on me. Yeah. They just say, right, okay, start writing, and I write, and it all just tumbles out. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Daphne Kavanagh says they want chaos so they can bring order. The New World Order. I get in touch on the thought ways. Much gratitude, Andrew.
Well, bless you, Daphne, and bless all your other listeners as well. And thank you for your lovely comments. And may all of you have a safe journey through to the new.
Absolutely. We will. We'll all be there together as well on the Inview.
Yeah.
How about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And lots of love to you, Mr. Daniel.
And you as well, Andrew. And we will touch base again in a while and get you back on, see what you're up to and everything else. And
fabulous.
I mean, I would recommend everyone and anyone go to and join Andrew Hobbs because his poetry is just absolutely immense, I can tell you.
Well, thank you. So, yeah. When did you want to start working as my agent, Clint?
No, it's we all got loads of things to do, haven't we? That's the thing. Loads of things to do.
We certainly have, and as long as we do it with love in our hearts, then we're going to have a much happier world to live in, aren't we?
Yeah, I agree. You've been brilliant, Andrew. Yeah. I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. Enjoy Ireland. It's lovely. I've been there a couple of times. Very nice. If you are down this way again, let me know.
I will do.
Obviously my phone's on all the time anyway. So anytime you want to chat, you can always ring us. So,
All right, Clint.
All right, Andrew.
And you look after you. Look after you, and yeah, catch up with you soon.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Andrew. Very grateful.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Pleasure. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye. What a lovely man he is, Andrew Hobbs. I'll tell you what, immense guy. Really immense guy. Have a lot of respect for him. And an old friend as well. And what an amazing blessing he has in the channeled poetry that he does. I read 2 out on there that he hasn't put out yet, but he is just absolutely amazing. He really is. And thank you very much. And following on from comments from Andrew for your comments and all sorts of that as well. Such a lovely guy. He will be back on. We will get him back on in a month or so and get connected to him again, find out what he's up to and what he's doing and all sorts. I wonder who this is. I think this could be a call from another dimensional place. I think this could be Captain Hadit, our last guest tonight, Captain Hadit, who actually left I can't even say this word properly, left Mega Giffy. I'm sure I said that wrong. In his trawler boat, and then lots of things happened. And the last time we spoke to Captain Hadit, he was on an island with a woman living in a tree that is very big with a shower in it that they're in most of the time. Hello, Captain Hadit. How are you?
Hello there. You right?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm all right.
It's great to hear you, Captain Hadit. It's a very clear line, considering you're in another dimension.
Well, I don't know exactly where I am, but it could be no dimension. But there are a lot of things been going on.
I bet there has. And I mean, obviously, you know, if I remember rightly, you saved somebody, didn't you? A young woman or whatever, from Anubis type beings, wasn't it? Human Anubis headed people.
That's right. And she's back at the treehouse at the moment. Well, I hope she's still there. I don't know.
And if I remember rightly, also you went back in time to your house in Mega Giffy, where you actually walked in on your wife you left, who was in bed with your friend.
Yeah, so the guy up the road there. Yeah, see, this portal opened up in this tree, and I walked through it, and automatically walked into my living room. So I could hear noises upstairs. So I went upstairs, and there they were.
Wow.
So I said to him, good luck.
Good luck. And then when you left?
I went back through I just left and went back through portal and come back to where I was.
You must be getting quite accustomed to this now, because before you were just a trawler man, weren't you?
I was just a fisherman for Mega Giffy, the word you can't say. You know?
Mega Giffy.
Yeah, something like that.
And and obviously Captain Hadit has had it, hasn't he?
No, I wouldn't own up to that.
No. Well, no, of course not. So
absolutely not.
You're on this island, and you've got 2 pirates that you found on they're dead. Well, they're ghost type, translucent beings, would you say?
Dave 1 and Dave 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk to me through like telepathy sort of thing. I don't really understand it that much. I mean, just a simple fisherman, you know?
Yeah. But a simple fisherman that now lives in a tree that is massive.
Well, it's a bit like TARDIS effect. It looks, small on the outside. It's quite large on the inside, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not there at the moment.
I'm
not quite sure where I am.
Oh, my God. So you've lost your house?
No. You know, if you remember last time, I went on a little scouting expedition on my own.
Right.
And looking over the top of this hill, and there's this spaceship sort of thing down the bottom in the canyon, like. and they had all these people and slaves, you know, and they would digging this rock out. They said, like, out of these caves, and making a cave and bringing these rocks out, and they were in like little train type things, and they were taking them these rocks and into the spaceship.
Wow!
And I managed to creep down there, and that's where he left it. But what happened after that? Oh, it's weird. It still is. I still don't understand it fully. And that is, I was about to creep in, and then this portal opened to the left of me, probably about 20 feet away.
Wow.
And, you know, the big, it was about 6 feet in diameter, blue and sparkly. So I had to make a decision. Do I go in the spaceship or do I go through a portal again? So I thought, well, this is an adventure. So I thought I'd walk through the portal.
Yeah.
Through the portal. And then I was just like standing on loose sand. And I moved around a little bit and looked up the sky, and there's like two big planets not too far away.
Right.
So I thought, well, that don't look like Earth I'm standing on. That's somewhere else that be.
So you're actually on a different planet.
I was having a little, yeah, it seems like it.
It's incredible connection.
Well, that's great. You know, like I say, I don't quite understand things yet, but I'm sure things will be made apparent over the coming months.
What's the sky look like?
What's what?
What's the sky look like?
It looks like a sky. Same sort of colour as it. You know, it's blue.
It's blue. Oh, right.
Yeah.
And what can you see that's around you?
Oh, this is a strange thing. I looked around me, there's a few hilly areas, and I start to walk to the base of this hill, and then all of a sudden, there's like 6 Anubis-headed beings just appeared in front of me, like, you know, just like out of Enterprise, you know, beam down sort of thing. They just appeared all around me.
So are they still there, are they?
Well, that kind of shook me, you know, 6 of them standing around me. They just appeared out of nowhere. It's just just like a, you know, poof, they were there. And I thought, oh, shit, here we go. And then one of them, he took his head off, like, you know, it's like a helmet. He's a Anubis-type helmet off.
Okay, what was underneath?
And the others took theirs off as well, like, you know, and they started walking over. Well, it just looked like you and I, you know.
Oh, right.
Underneath. And he said, welcome. We've been waiting for you for some time, he said.
Wow.
What the hell's going on here, like, you know?
And you were thinking, I'm just a fisherman from Mega Giffy.
Absolutely, like, you know, I ain't nothing special. I may have caught 1 or 2 big fish at a time, but it ain't nothing special.
So where did they take you?
Well, I went along with them for about, I don't know, quarter of a mile or so, and then another portal opened, and we all walked through it. And then we just stepped foot into this. It's strange. It was like a bit like a cave, really. And I said, "Where are we?" He said, "We're about 10 of your miles underground."
Wow.
I said, "Well, we got there quickly, didn't we?"
Well, I suppose, you know, if you walk, you could cross miles quite quickly, can't you? Because time is not relevant, is it?
Well, I don't know what kind of time is relevant here, yeah. You know, I've only been here, you know, I've been there about, a couple of hours, and all this sort of thing happened, like, you know.
Wow.
Anyway, so they took me into this room, I suppose you could call it. It was just like another sort of like portal open, and just walked straight through in that with them.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a tropical garden sort of thing in there. And he said,
a place of Eden, like the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, but it didn't have no serpent there and no flashy coloured apples, that's for sure.
Oh, right.
It had a couple of weird-looking creatures.
What did they look like?
Well, one looked like strange. It looked like half a badger and half a rabbit.
Half a badger and half a rabbit. That's a bit.
Yeah,
That's a bit strange.
It was hopping, and it was strange. Anyway, it come up to me. It started sort of like a cat purring noise down by my legs.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a cat. It's a rabbit badger that purrs like a cat.
Yeah.
They didn't give you any psychotic drugs while you're down there, any chance?
A rabbit, like a cross between a rabbit and a badger, not a rabid badger.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
But, and then I heard this female voice behind me saying that she obviously likes you and welcome to our planet. And I looked around and there was this gorgeous woman and she had all sorts of jewels and like a crown and this dress and sapphires and all sorts.
Like a queen.
She said, she'd be the queen. She'd be the queen of the planet here.
Wow. And what planet? What's it called? Do you know?
Anubai.
Nubai.
Planet
Planet
Anubai.
Anubai. And do you know what systems that's in?
No idea.
So
I was just a simple fisherman, I be.
Oh, I know, but you're speaking to us. I mean, the scientific world would be on the edge of their seats. We're speaking to you, not on a mobile phone, but on your, for some unknown reason, I don't know how it works, but it's your radio on board your ship you've took out, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it's sort of, I don't know how it works. I'm not electronically sort of minded, but I should think it's something to do with these portals that keep opening up every now and then.
Yeah.
Because maybe the signals go through it and gets transmitted from my boat. I don't know.
It's immense.
I don't know. But the worrying thing is, I don't know. I can't build Dave 1 or Dave 2 with me. So
right.
I don't know what's going on there. Maybe across some barrier. Maybe it's too far away from them to sort of telepathically.
It sounds like it is. But I mean, do you know how you're going to get back?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to get back. Well, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't particularly care. I mean, this is an adventure, you know. I'm a fisherman, right? And I've never been on an adventure like this, and I'm just relishing every minute of it. So
you're breathing all right on that planet Anubai, then?
Oh yeah, I'm breathing fine. I don't know whether it's sort of air is sort of native to this planet or something, or I'm in some kind of bubble, invisible bubble sort of thing around. I don't know, but I'm sure I'll find out.
So are you on your own now, or are you still with the Queen?
Yeah, I'm still. She's gone now. She's gone back to wherever the Queens go, like on this planet. I don't know where. I'm just living the life of luxury here at the moment.
Are you? Well, they're feeding you and everything, are they? And drink, and you have drinks.
Oh yeah, I'm having plenty of drinks. Yeah.
Wow. And what did they give you to drink on Anubai?
Well, they said to me, "What's your favourite drink?" I said, "Cornish Rattler cider." I said, "Where we, They said, "Well, I'll go and get you a few." I thought, "What? You're on a planet, I don't know where, and you can get it?" She said, "No, we don't get it from your planet. We can replicate it, see?"
Ah, right. Yes, of course.
They looked it up and found the ingredients, and that, and about half an hour later, out come this crate full of it.
Wow. You must have been well pleased.
Yeah, I'm well pleased.
They can replicate anything then.
Yeah, it would appear so. So, anyway, they said, "You rest, because, it must be a bit of a culture shock for you." I said, "Yeah, it is, but, I'm loving it." So, I just sat down there in this sort of like armchair sort of thing, put my feet up, and having these lovely women coming, and serving me all sorts of different fruits and things like that.
Wow.
And then they all went away after about an hour, and this bloke turned up, and I suppose he must be like Prime Minister or something like that.
He doesn't look like Boris Johnson, does he?
No. He must be something like I don't know what you call them. Prime Minister or somebody who's just under the Queen sort of thing, like, you know,
Not literally,
who
but
handles the affairs, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, you must be wondering what you're doing here. I said, yeah, it's just a little bit, but at the moment I'm enjoying myself. And he said, well, that's fine. You know, you carry on enjoying yourself. You know, we've got plenty of time. Because time is a bit different here than it's, you know, than you can understand. He said, time outside is a bit different than it is in here. And I said, well, I do understand that to a degree, because where I live, and this little tree, the time stands still, really. He said, yeah, but that is what we put there for you, he said.
Wow.
He said, we made that happen for you because it's all been planned a long time in advance, he said.
So this has already been organised a long time ago.
Yeah, it all been organised some while ago, you see.
You must be thinking, well, what's so special about me?
Well, absolutely. I keep telling myself that. It must be something very special. I don't know. But that's basically all I know. And I'm still here and just taking in everything, you know, just relaxing. And then I thought I'd give you a call.
Yeah, well, that's really good.
What's going on?
And you're relaxing on like a sofa thing at the moment, are you?
At the moment, yeah.
And you're in like a cave, are you, or a house or something?
Well, you see, in like a cave, about 10 miles underground, so I've been formed, like, you know, and it's just coming into this little portal we walk into again, and there I am, in this sort of an outdoor room area, you know, and you've got sky, you just got the top of the cave sort of thing, like there, but you've got like a lake in front of me.
Wow.
That's so strange. That's orange, that is.
An orange lake?
Yeah, it's just kind of like terracotta colour water. Well,
wow.
I think it's water anyway.
Have you gone over to see if it is water?
No, I ain't been over there yet. I don't know what they can jump out at me, do I?
Well, that's true, because there must be other things living on there as well as these Anubis type people.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got half rabbit, half badger type creatures. I wonder what kind of fish they have. I ain't getting near that water.
Yeah. That would be something else. You're not thinking about going fishing, obviously.
No, not yet. No. You must be joking. But yes. But so, hang on. I got a message. Oh, Dave one.
You've got a message.
Contact me. Yeah, he's managed to contact me telepathically. He says he's on his way.
All right.
He's on his way.
So is that Dave 1 or Dave 2?
No, it's Dave 1. Dave 2's back on the boat.
He's been on the boat a long time, hasn't he?
Well, I don't know whether he has or not. I mean, to us it seems a long time. To him, it may not, you see.
Well, it could only be a flick of an eyelid, couldn't it?
Well, he's a spirit, isn't he? So
well, that's true. Well, you found that out when you tried to give him some spirits, and it just didn't go in anywhere, did it?
No, he just pulled straight down through him and out the other end.
So he gave you a message, Dave 1, who is another translucent being that is actually in spirit, that is actually coming. Well, he's coming to what? Save you, is he? Do you think, or is he coming to make sure you're okay?
He says I'm on my way.
Oh.
See, maybe, you know, I was just sort of thinking between the lines. Maybe they were planted there, sort of thing. You know, all this was an elaborate thing to get me, to get hold of me. See, to get me here, and maybe I'm here in this cave here, enjoying all this luxury, and waiting for him to arrive, kind of thing. I don't know, because maybe I need him. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, it seems like you might do.
There's lots of maybes and lots of things, because I don't know, you know, simple fisherman.
I mean, at least,
I get caught up with this.
At least you ain't got to worry about COVID-19 and Brexit and everything like that, have you?
No, well, I don't know whether I would worry about that or not. I don't even know what they are.
And you're sitting there drinking probably more pure cider than it would be back here. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it tastes all right. It tastes like proper Rattler cider. So I don't know how they manufactured it or anything like that.
Well, I
But I'll
suppose
tell
the
you what,
thought process.
I don't know.
They must
I
have.
really
They
don't know
must
any
have got
more than
into
that.
your mind to see what it is, and then recreated it.
You're telling me they might got into my mind? They wouldn't have found an awful lot there. Good grief. Bloody hell, boy. No.
It sounds interesting because
I'm sure I would have felt something, felt sick or felt something
I'm sure you would.
I didn't feel anything different. So maybe they got kind of a universal internet or something up there, and they
something
just
like
looked it
that,
up.
yeah.
I don't know.
Where they actually create what they see.
Well, yeah, why not?
What a great idea!
You know,
That's fantastic, isn't it?
I wouldn't put past anything being, you know, impossible. What I've seen, you know.
Well, yeah, walking through many portals. I mean, you know, you never know where you're going, but you're not scared, are you?
No, it's rather weird. I don't seem to be, not even apprehensive or scared. Nothing. I just do it as if I got some kind of newfound kind of courage, like, you know.
Because you wouldn't have done this once, would you?
Well, it's the only first time I know I've been done all this sort of adventure.
Because normally you'd be down the old Dog and Duck or the holy ship or whatever it's called in your mega Giffy village with your wife, wouldn't you?
Oh, it won't be a holy ship, would it?
Well, no, but it could be. It could be a blessed ship, couldn't it?
No, I've been down there for a meal or something like that, but it ain't going to happen again.
Well, no.
You don't know is because I pay the mortgage on it. She's going to be homeless soon because when the bank.
Well, you can't pay anything because you're not there.
No, absolutely. So he can have her, like, you know. I got plenty of adventure coming my way.
I bet you have, yeah. And obviously, what did the Queen say to you?
Well, the Queen said to me, I'm sure I told you a little while ago, she said to me, you know, you just take it easy. You know, like I'm sure you've been told that we've been waiting for you for some time, and it's been a long time in the planning. And somebody will be with you soon, and will fill you in on what's going on. So basically, I'm waiting here to be filled in on what's going on.
Wow.
So, and in that time, I mean, I just had a sort of message from Dave One telling me that he's on his way. So, obviously, we have some kind of adventure or whatever we got to do. But what I can tell you is, I thought I couldn't, you know, I couldn't remember exactly because I just saw it in the corner of my eye when I was on the beach, just some kind of sandy beach, but there's no water there. When I had my feet in the sand and I was looking around and see the hills and that sort of thing, and those Anubis type creatures appeared. Do you remember me saying?
I do remember you saying that, yeah.
Yeah, they surrounded me. In the corner of my eye, I thought I saw that spaceship, which was on the Earth, or on my island, just disappear over the hill.
Wow.
So it may well have been that one, or it may have been another. I don't know, but it may well have something to do with that. I don't know.
It's. I mean, the great thing is you don't feel that you're in danger, do you?
No, on the contrary, I don't feel I'm in danger. I feel like, I know it sounds weird, you kind of feel invincible, you know? I just feel so great, so good, so strong.
Empowered.
Yeah, empowered with something, I don't know.
Well, it might be a Cornish rattler.
It might be, it might have some kind of additive in it, I don't know.
Well, it could have some sort of additive in it, couldn't it?
No, but having said that, I did, you know, when I appeared on in the sands, you know, like I said, when I walked through the portal, I was standing on this loose sand and looking around, and I didn't feel afraid then. So, you know, maybe it's something in the air. I don't know. Or maybe I've been empowered with something. I got no idea.
It's a mystery, isn't it?
It certainly is.
That's Toya Wilcox saying that.
Yeah, I think so, if my memory serves me right. But I normally put those sort of things out of my mind because I didn't like that song. Thought it was stupid. much rather listen to Cornish shanties down in the park, you know.
Cornish shanties, yeah, absolutely. And you don't miss Cornwall, do you?
Not really, no, because yeah, it's a lovely place, but you're struggling to make a living.
Yeah.
And what you're living for, just a house or something which you barely in because you're at sea all the time, you know, fishing.
Yeah.
And so when this sort of things has happened, I just went with it.
Well, you were looking for excitement in your life, and you got it.
Absolutely.
And to a degree, it's something that you must have already had planned with inside yourself to happen.
Well, I don't know what it's planned inside myself, but obviously others had it planned for me. I don't know. But, hence why I'm here.
Maybe it's a bit like Total Recall.
I don't know. Depends which Total Recall you're on about. If it was the second movie, that's a load of old bollocks, that was.
No, I meant the first one.
Crap.
I know. I've seen it. It's terrible.
I watched about half an hour of it, and I thought, no, that's it. I ain't watching no more. So I took DVD back, and I said, that's a load of shit for the girl in the shop. So, which she weren't best pleased.
Well, I bet. Yeah, I bet.
But anyway, I don't know what's going to go on here. Maybe I might find myself in a situation where I have to rescue people.
Well, that could well happen. Yeah, maybe that's the purpose of you being there.
Well, I can't think of any other reason why I'd be here. I have to do something to rescue people or do something that others can't, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's my way of thinking. But who knows?
Well, it'd be very interesting when we catch up with you next time to see what you did do.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. I'll talk to you then. But for now, I'm just chilling.
Chilling out chilling out. Well, you should do, and acclimatizing yourself is a good word.
Well, it would be if I knew. If I was acclimatizing myself, because I don't know whether the climate where I'm supposed to be going, if I'm going anywhere out of here, is going to be the same or different.
Yeah. Well, that I suppose is half the fun of it is actually not knowing.
Well, it's all the fun of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not knowing what's going to happen, that sort of thing. But normally, when I was back in Cornwall, normally if I was didn't know what's going to happen, I was being a bit apprehensive, I was a little bit cautious, but I don't feel cautious. I don't have no apprehension whatsoever.
That's good.
It's strange, I just got this feeling of invincibility.
Wow.
Weird.
Wow.
I know it's difficult to describe.
Yeah, I know. I can believe it is. I can believe it is.
Maybe I'm a super fisherman. Hey.
Well, you could be, but I mean, your fisherman days are over. I think you are now an intrepid cosmic explorer.
I am. If I ever get back, which I'm not bothered if I don't. Write a book or something. I might make a film of it.
Well, you could be there for years and years and years, and then go through a portal back home, and actually still walk into the house, and he's still upstairs in bed with your partner, with your wife.
Yeah, you never know. That might happen.
Because it might just be seconds. But years there.
In which case, if that happened, I would just go straight to the bank and say, right, take the house back, teach her a lesson. I'm gone.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, it's always a revelation speaking to you, Captain Hadit.
Well, it's nice to have an avenue where I can speak to somebody back at home.
Yeah, because obviously it must get a bit lonely when you've got nobody to talk to.
Yeah, because at the moment, this is the only avenue I know I got, to speak to somebody back home. I suppose I can use that term loosely because who knows? I might have another home.
Well, I think you've probably got 2 homes by now. That's here, and your tree.
Oh yeah, but who knows what's going on? Who knows what's happening tomorrow or the next day or something? I don't know. I don't even know how long the days are here.
Well, no.
It may be long.
Well, they might not change. It might just be one day forever.
It might well be, yeah. In which case, oh dear, I'll live forever then, won't I?
Well, yeah, you will.
Who knows?
Well, it's fascinating, Captain Hadit, I'll tell you. And obviously, we're going to catch up with you again in the not too distant future, and see what you're up to.
That would be great. That would. But I may not be able. I don't know. I may not be able to tell you everything. You see?
No, I know. Yeah.
There may be certain things, certain people listening on the intergalactic radio waves, so to speak.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, yeah.
So I may have to be careful.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do, if you like, is I don't know whether it can do it or whether the people there can do it, but if I can get them to rustle up some more rattler, I'll have them send through the portal to you, like, if you like.
Well, that'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be really good. And send me some through. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I'll see what I can come up with.
Yeah. Sounds great.
All right. So anyway, yeah. Hang on. So I gotta go. Now. So
all right.
I talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's been fantastic, Captain Hadit. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, sir.
And we'll speak again.
Oh yeah. Bye.
Bye. Captain Hadit and the amazing adventures of Captain Hadit, who was just fisherman from Mega Giffy, and I can't say that word, who then went out and found a ghost ship, really, and a couple of ghosts that went with him. And then he went found an island miles out of nowhere. And then he found a treehouse, and he found these Anubis type headed beings. They're like human, but with Anubis heads, but they're just helmets. Then a ship took him off and took him up, and there he is. He's talking from Anubi. Sounds like something you buy in a shop. Can I have a packet of Anubi, please? And they say, no, I'm not buying it. You buy it. No, Anubi. No, you buy it. And there he is in a cave drinking Cornish Rattler and seeming quite happy. He's quite an adventurous type person. He's Captain Hadit, and nothing gets on top of him, as you can see. And we will catch up with him soon. It's fantastic to have him on board. It's been a great show tonight. I thoroughly enjoy it. I always do like doing the Inview. It has been up and down recently, the Inview, but we are back next week. We are back on course, back on track. I can't tell you what the guests are for next week because I am in the planning stages of putting them all together at the moment. So obviously when I know who all the guests are lined up and that, I'll be telling you weekly who we've got on. You have been amazing. Thank you very much for comments. Thanks for your interaction. Thank you very much for all the guests tonight as well. It's been really good fun and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to get unplugged from this now because it's giving me a bit of a headache, and then I can get into Nigel's ship and then I can go off to Venus. So that's great. So we'll have a good week out there. Don't forget, 7 o'clock next week, we are there with the Inview, bringing you a different perspective, a different view on the world, on events, current or with inside ourselves. That's what we're about. And remember, whatever happens in your life, always hold on to the positive edge of you. As we were talking about before, whatever happens, however bad, however things seem, it's holding on to the belief of what we hold inside ourselves. That is the key to the existence of the unity of you to take yourself forward. All have a good week out there. I'll see you next week, 7 o'clock, with another plethora of guests. And have a fantastic week and see you next week. Bye-bye.